The new Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro just launched in India with a price tag starting $13,999. While the phone is far from available, we wanted to check how the cameras perform in comparison to some of the other phones in this price bracket. My name is Bharat. You're watching iGyaan. Let's quickly get started. So we're comparing three phones today, the Redmi Note 5 Pro, the Xiaomi Mi A1 with a lot of requests from you guys, and the Honor 7X. All of these phones are mostly in the same price bracket between 13 to 15,000 rupees, and all of them have similar features. So if we do a quick roundup for the Note 5 Pro, it has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636, and it is available either in a 4GB or a 6GB of RAM variant. And the main camera is a 12 megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture and a 5 megapixel camera with an f2 aperture. If we talk about the Xiaomi Mi A1, it is a slightly older phone. It does have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 chipset along with 4GB of RAM. The main camera is a 12 megapixel f2.2 camera, and the second camera is a 12 megapixel telephoto camera. Our final phone, the Honor 7X, has Huawei's own Kirin 659 chipset, again with 4GB of RAM, and the cameras are composed of a 16 megapixel sensor plus a 2 megapixel depth sensor. All three of these phones have distinctive designs and distinctive capabilities. The good thing about the Xiaomi Mi A1 and why everyone likes it is because it has stock Android and it's already on Android Oreo. So that is something that both the other phones are lacking in. The Redmi Note 5 Pro, even though it's just been launched, still runs Android Nougat with MIUI 9, and Honor 7X runs EMUI, also not with Oreo. So let's talk about cameras. We decided to test the cameras of these phones, and what's really crucial with our test is that, inspired by a lot of people on YouTube, we decided to do a blind test. Now we are labeling these phones A, B, and C so that you guys can be the judge of the images and do a tally for yourself. So as each image goes forward, you guys can start taking notes, and at the end we will reveal which phone is which, and you guys can decide which phone you like the most. So we'll start off with image number 1. Now in this you can see that phone A and phone C have got the most accurate color in terms of how the image looks, whereas image B has a good amount of sharpness even if we zoom in a little bit. If you notice some of the other things, you'll see that highlights and shadows are best shown in image number C. So I think that as far as this image is concerned, the phone C does the best job. So let's move on to image number 2. In this, you'll see that there's a lot of color and a lot of light on the fruit. So you will see that in phone A, the boxes are reflecting the light too much and you can't really see what's inside. In the case of phone B, you'll see that the colors are not as vivid. Phone C has muted the colors and the highlights a lot. And again, that gives us the best example of color and brightness. But between phone A and phone C, I think they did the best job. Whereas phone B has good amounts of focus around the bananas area. Now in image 3, you'll see that phone A has completely blown out the highlights and the shadows. So you'll see that this image is sort of overexposed. It doesn't look good. Whereas phone B and phone C have done a good job of giving you the accurate amount of color. So that is absolutely fantastic. Again, phone C has much more better and much more accurate colors. If you look at the bark of the tree around the region where it is torn a little bit, you'll see that in phone B, the image looks a little yellow. Whereas in phone C, you'll see a direct color. Now this is portrait mode, image number 4. You'll see that again, phone A has luckily managed to grab up a bee which is sitting in the flower as well. So you'll see when you zoom in that there is quite a good amount of sharpness in there. Background has been blurred out quite well, and you'll see behind the leaves on the left side of phone A there is a good amount of bokeh. Again with phone B, you'll see that on the left side behind the leaves it's not done such a good job of defocusing. Again on the bottom of the B phone, you'll see that it's not done a very good job of defocusing the image. And phone C has also done a similar job. So you'll see that on the left and on the bottom you don't have a lot of background blur, but the colors again seem to be the best in phone C. Phone B has done a good job of sort of blurring out the background. I think it's the best bokeh on the right side behind the flower, whereas phone A I think has the best color and brightness. Now image number 5, you'll see that phone B has done a really poor job. We're trying to focus on the pillar and trying to blur out the background, so you'll see that phone B has completely failed, whereas phone A has a good amount of light control. You'll see that you've got these flares of lights also coming in. We've got focus on the pillar at the bottom here and defocus on the background. Also phone C has done a good job. You'll see a good amount of sharpness on the pillar where the paint is. You can even see the texture of the paint, and the background has been blurred out quite well. Here's image number 6. You'll see that again, phone A and phone C have done a good job, whereas phone B, we tried to focus on the pillar again with phone B, it couldn't do it. And the color on phone B is also completely out of whack. So you'll see this blue tint, whereas phone A has sort of not managed the brightness well. Phone C seems to get the right amount of brightness. You see a good amount of frontal image as well, so you can see the flowers and leaves are green. I think phone C has managed to do the best job again of color and white balance on this image. By the way, we are not tweaking the colors or changing any of the effects. So let's go to image number 7. Here we can see that phone A seems to have done the best job. It's the most accurate color. The sky looks the right color. In phone B and phone C, the sky looks completely gray, which is not the case. When we click this image, also the flowers look a little yellow on phone B and phone C. And whereas phone A has managed to get the right color of the flowers out. Now image 8 is really interesting because you'll see that phone A has not done a good job of monochrome. So we used the monochrome effect, and phone A has not done a really good job. You can't see a lot of the shadows, and you'll see that most of the highlights seem to be blown out. Whereas phone B and phone C have done a really good job. In fact, I think phone B has done a better job than phone C. Here you can see a close-up of the keyboard. Same lighting, same situation. Phone B seems to have done a better job giving you good amount of brightness and detail, whereas phone C has managed to control the overexposure around the edge of the keyboard, again dimming the situation a little bit to get you better information, but the sharpness around the pen, for example, is not as sharp as phone B. I'd say for color, phone C gets the most accurate color. Phone A is a little dim for my taste. Here's another image, image number 10. You can see that the walkie-talkie in phone A and phone C seems to be the more accurate color. I think phone C has the best color representation of what the walkie-talkie actually looks like. And then you'll see that it manages to get focus on most areas. Phone B has completely blown out the color of the walkie-talkie. That's not the yellow that we have. And plus you can see the highlights, the reflections on the Wi-Fi board sort of change the color completely of the board. It looks gray and washed out, which is not the case in phone C, which is more accurate to the color. Here we are trying to catch the reflection of the tree on the top of this reflective lid. And again, you'll see that phone A has managed to get a good amount of color. Phone C has managed to get a good amount of sharpness and color. You'll see the knob of the lid is also in focus, and also the tree on the reflection is in focus. In phone B, we couldn't get so much sharpness around the knob, but again, all three of these images are good. I think phone A and phone C have done a slightly better job of white balance, whereas phone B seems to be a little more green or yellowish. Here is a good example. Now, you'll see 3 different colors on this vehicle. It's the same shot from all 3 of these phones and completely different colors in all scenarios. Phone C here has done the best job of the accurate color of the vehicle, whereas phone A has completely changed the color and phone B has also completely changed the color. Phone C is sharp, it's got the right color and again the right light detail. So phone C over here turns out to be better. Here is a portrait mode shot for the flowers. Phone A and phone B have failed miserably in this one, and you'll see that the color of the flower on phone A is completely different. Also, it seems to be completely blown out and focus is a little bit of an issue. If you go towards the center of the image from phone A, you'll see that it has good amounts of focus in that region, whereas phone B also seems to have failed in getting focus on anything right. It seems to have managed again central focus, whereas everything seems to be blown out. Phone C seems to have done the best job getting good amounts of things in focus and blurring out the background. This is a good example of portrait mode working really well with software. Now this is the same thing going on in image 14, but here phone B seems to have done a better job, and phone C and phone A both seem to have overexposed their subjects and the background. Again, you guys can be a better judge of how you feel about these images. Let's move on to the final image. Here you can see the light is behind the actual subject, so there's a lot of HDR involved. Phone A has completely removed the actual colors, and phone B seems to have done the best job. You can actually see a lot of green of the tree, and a lot of the sky is in a more accurate color, whereas phone C has done the same job as phone B but in a much more dimmer situations, but you see more accurate colors in phone B and C. Phone B overall I think has done a better job in this image. Now let's compare the video samples. Let's start with phone A. Here you can see a sky shot, and you can see the colors in the sky. There's a lot of noise in the video, and also the colors seem a little bit muted. Here's a walking shot, no image stabilization, lots of shaky video. Here's a shot of focus testing. You can see that even though it focuses quickly, there's a lot of exposure hunting and focus hunting, and because there's no image stabilization, the video is really shaky. Let's move on to phone B. So now phone B, you'll see a really good amount of saturation and color. The video looks really nice as far as colors go, saturation and contrast goes. But again, there is no image stabilization, so the video is shaky, sharpness in the video. And again, walking shot, you can see a lot more shake while walking. And focus shot, also a lot of focus hunting, no image stabilization, so a lot of shake over there. And that is basically it for phone B. Let's go on to phone C. Now phone C has image stabilization, so it's working better. Colors again seem to be a little bit muted on this phone, but because there is electronic image stabilization, you see a better job. You see this walking test, I think out of all three of these phones, phone C has managed the best walking test. And again, with the focus hunting test, phone C has managed the best test as far as focus hunting is concerned. Now it's time to finally tally up your scores. I'll give you guys just a second to make sure you pause this video right now and tally up the scores for what you rated what phone. So phone A is Honor 7X, phone B is Mi A1, and phone C is the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So honestly, in the comments below, tell me which phone won in your rating, and hopefully you guys don't cheat. And if you own any of these devices, you're not biased towards them, and you leave an actual score in the comment section below. For us, I think the Redmi Note 5 Pro was the definitive winner across the images overall, with the Honor 7X coming in a close second. With the Mi A1, in most of our cases, we found that the colors were not accurate, and in certain cases, especially in the portrait mode, we didn't enjoy it as much as we found the Redmi Note 5 Pro to give good results as far as portraits are concerned. That's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. If you want more videos like these, do let us know in the comment section below. This has been Bharat. I will see you guys in the next one.